My name is Vincent Evers. I'm Trend Watcher. I'm in the San Francisco area, and I'm currently in First Market Street at Autodesk, and the Autodesk showroom, where they basically see, how's it called here, Alec?
The gallery.
The gallery, where they show what people do with their software and what they think is important. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is 3D printers. So 3D printing, we all know the desktop models, but this is a good industrial size printing. Alec, what determines if things are $250,000 or $1,000?
Reliability, the size of the print bed. You can see if you maybe get a picture inside the thing.
Yeah, let's see here.
So this is a Object Connects printer. Prints in multiple materials at the same time. It has a very large print space and a very complicated print head there, which sprays out, I think it's 8 different channels of droplets, which are then photopolymers, which are then hardened as the print head moves along by ultraviolet light. It's a big machine, costs about $250,000, probably a few years old at this point. Very expensive.
The thing I have with 3D printing, it's always the same kind of stuff. You know, you see those very light materials, and they don't weigh anything. But actually, this vase, the vase here, is from metal. It's really very, very heavy, very strong. Can we make that stuff now on 3D printers?
So I cannot guarantee that that particular one was, but there are 3D printers now that are printing in metal and glass and all sorts of ceramics, heavy materials, yes.
Yeah. So we saw Autodesk, we saw Tesla today, old-fashioned manufacturing.
Yeah.
When will 3D manufacturing, 3D printing manufacturing come about?
You may never have 3D printing for really mass market items. It may always be cheaper to do things in a mold that stamps out 1 million of the same thing than to print out each individual one. It'll certainly always be faster. So 3D printing for parts that go into a few thousand airplanes, we already have that. Yeah. 3D printing for dental work, which is unique to every single individual, we already have that. So as a production, a commercial industrial production process, 3D printing has already come of age. Yeah. There's a lot more it can still do.
Customizable stuff, one of a kind, that's already very useful. Mass production, still the old-fashioned way is pretty good. I love this machine. It's a vicious cycle. It's in the motor, which basically drives a gear and another gear, and it gets slower and slower and slower and slower and slower. In the end, it will crush the engine itself. And this whole cycle takes about a year. And they've made a very nice visualization here, where you can see the different parts of the process, how it flies, how it explains itself, beautifully visualized. Looking at the gear ratios, the power and the velocity, and also when the glass is finally going to crash. So it's a nice explanation. I'm going to show it my kids tomorrow. Go on. Yeah. I like to see the pretty pictures. So see, this is the amount of crushing power it will have. It will here, the Empire State Building, it will be able to crush that. Great. This is work of Alec himself, and with a partner, and he's basically on this material, and his goal, and this is so nice, he's built this himself with the AutoCAD software, and he needs to get the ball up and running. And look underneath here, all this material has been 3D printed, and with a simple board, which is a couple of $40, $50, you can make this kind of stuff. And oh, Alec has been very good in making this. It works! So when did you make this, Alec?
I made this with David Thomason a couple years ago. I think it's been about 2 years it's been here, and it's starting to show its age, unfortunately.
Well, it looks great. It looks used. I mean, it's one of the things you can really use here. And it's very off-the-shelf parts, right?
No. I mean, you start with plywood, but all that had to be cut, and David had to produce this pattern for it, and sure, and take it to a shop bot to get it cut out, and the plastic parts you see underneath it are completely not off the shelf. Those
okay, this was a very difficult project, and it took them many weeks, but it is one of the most popular things here. My kids are going to enjoy this tomorrow. Okay, let's get some real virtual reality in a racing going.
All right. Do you know where you are, Vincent?
Well, it looks like the Golden Gate Bridge or something.
Very close. It's the Bay Bridge.
Oh, the Bay Bridge.
So this is actually the model, a drive-through model of the Bay Bridge before it was built.
And a friend of mine made this. Say a friend here.
Yes, sorry. Vincent's telling us that a friend of his did the actual original design, Gossamer Mole, the original view of the thing, if not the actual engineering. And Vincent is even worse of a driver in virtual reality than he is in actual reality.
So of course Autodesk is used in car design, and this is a pretty weird car, a Mercedes. What kind of car is this, Alec?
Concept car. Concept.
Very
Pure concept.
Yeah. And what is the concept? It grows on trees?
Well, not on trees, but use genetic engineering to grow the materials for it. It somehow magically moves without consuming any fossil fuels. Very futuristic.
Very cool. So this is actually comes out of this, and the idea is that they make organic material which is producing the car, and then later just disintegrates. Okay, everything has to be redesigned, including Pac-Man, and they're using apples to move. Oh, we died. You died. Okay, everything is playing. Now this I thought was a pretty cool building, and this is actually in Shanghai. I was there. And I wasn't there when this was built, but it was being built. It's the highest building of China, and I don't know if it's the highest building in the world. Now, there's a little story behind this. So why are they able to build these super high buildings nowadays?
Well, super high buildings have super high difficulties. So they're going to be blown over. They're going to flex too much in the wind. They're going to fall over in earthquakes. It's a big challenge the higher you get. And I think the reason we're displaying this here is to show the software, all the different sorts of software that people are now applying to solve the problems that sort of giant architecture brings with it. And a lot of that software is Autodesk's.
Hooray! Autodesk is used for everything in the world, and now it's also going to be made for 3D printing, drive 3D printing. So you came a long way from Autodesk 13. That was a good version, huh?
I wasn't there for the time you were.
I was there. It was a disastrous version, but at the moment it works pretty well. So this is called the Autodesk Gallery. On 1 Market Street, and people can come in here.
Open to the public, I think, Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, and lots of meetings and lots of demonstrations.
Lectures and evening events, and yeah, it's a very nice place.
Okay, come here. 1st Market Street, San Francisco.